What's happening, peoples? Welcome to the Armchair Pundits Arsenal post-match review show, powered by me, Bevan, and we're going to get straight into it. Arsenal 4, Tottenham 1. Yeah, I know it's playing at their ground, but we're going to start with the winners. We're going to start with us first, you know what I'm saying? So, going into this game, it was a must-win. We needed to show up. We needed to show some fight, as I said in the last match. So we're just going to get straight into it. The game started with Tottenham pressing very aggressively. They was going for a man-for-man press, and it was their two fullbacks in Gray and Jed Spence that were pushing up onto Arsenal's fullbacks. Well, they weren't playing fullbacks; they're playing wingbacks. But their two wingbacks were pushing up onto Timber and onto Hincapié, and then you had their three centre backs of Dragusin, Polina, and Van de Ven going man for man on Trossard, Gyökeres, and Saka. And with that aggressive press, Arsenal had to be patient. But what Arsenal did very well is in the first half and in the second half, is they used the movement and rotation to drag players out of position. So a lot of the times it would be Trossard might go into the middle, and then Gyökeres would pull out onto the left-hand side. So it would mean that Dragusin would be getting pulled across. And it kind of showed from one of the first chances that we get where it's Gyökeres is on the left and he's one-on-one with Dragusin, and he pulls a shot just past the post. And it was very early on into the game. And it was a lot of control by us in that first, I'd say, like 10 minutes, where we were looking like we were on top. There was a break in play because the referees had some issues with their communication. Don't know what's going on there. And then after that, it was like Tottenham maybe kind of got into a good bit of form, started to grow into the match a little bit. But then as the first half went on, we took over again. And in that first half, before we score, Saka has a chance to score a goal. There's a chance where a ball gets played over the top and Viktor has to come out with a diving header. And I mean, the chance falls to Trossard, who's he's way outside the box. And he kind of, I don't know if it was a shot, but it just ended up getting cleared I think it gets cleared by Paulino on the line. But we look like we're kind of in the ascendancy. And then when we do get our first goal, instead of Van de Ven being on to Saka, it is Papsar. He's one-on-one with Saka. Saka beats him. Bit of luck. Some of it might be a bit of luck, but he, first chance kind of comes off Sar's leg. Then Saka wins it, nutmegs him, sends a cross into the box. Eze takes a touch. Second touch, buries it. And then you 1-0 up. And you're thinking and you're saying to yourselves, all right, boys, just calm down. Don't make too many mistakes. Because the only way that it looked like that Spurs were going to score from in that first half is if Arsenal made a mistake. And as that happened, that's how they score. Funny enough, it's Declan Rice saying to the team to calm down, to switch on. And he's the one, I don't know if he's a bit too calm, or he's looking and he's thinking, I'm better than these guys. But he's tracked Javi Simmons' run as the ball gets played through to him, and he's cut the lane off, won the ball back, and instead of just clearing it or laying off a pass, he's tried a bit of trickery. It's not worked. Coleman's won the ball off of him. He's cut into the box and rifled it in past Raya. Now, maybe Raya could have saved it with his legs, but it doesn't quite work out. So, we go into half-time 1-0. And if I'm honest, Spurs deserve nothing out of that first half because they had 2 shots on goal, and I think Arsenal ended up with 12. And really, we could have been 3-0 or 3-1 up inside the first half. And they would be going into that first half thinking that we've nicked one. And if you keep it like that, then something in this for us. But we come out in the second half and we score after 2 minutes. The ball gets played from Timber who wraps the ball into Gyökeres. Now, from an Arsenal point of view, Gyökeres takes the ball, he has time to turn, and it smashes one from outside of the box. Probably one of his better finishes in the Premier League, and he has a goal, and that was his 9th of the season. 10th is soon to come. But in that move, you see that Eze's made a run that has pulled Dragerson out of position. So Gyökeres is pretty much on his own. And from a Tottenham point of view, that defending is awful because there's no way that pass from Timber should be landing to Gyökeres, who has time to turn and then shoot and bury it. Great finish from Gyökeres' point of view, but terrible defending from a Tottenham point of view. And it's 2-1 Arsenal. Now, at 2-1, Tottenham get a chance where Gallagher sends a cross into the box. Kolo Muani has 2 hands on Gabriel's back and he sells one to the ref. Might be a bit soft, but I think because his both hands are outstretched, then that's why the referee's giving it. And we are 2-1 up. 2-2, it might be different. The crowd might start getting involved, and then you don't know if panic sets in, but it gets disallowed. It's just one of those things. Could say it's a bit soft from Gabriel, but I don't think you can put 2 hands on a player's back like that and expect it to be given, especially with the ref right there looking at it. So we're now 2-1 up, and it's time for our third goal. And the third goal comes about from us winning the ball high up the pitch. It's actually what Dragerson wins a header, or he has a header, and he nods it back. I believe he nods it back to Papsar, but Eze gets there first. He wins it, knocks it to Gyökeres. Gyökeres taps it back to him, plays in Saka. Van de Ven makes a good challenge, comes back to Eze, who finish it, and it's 3-1. And at 3-1, the game's over pretty much. All right, yeah, we got half an hour to play, but it's game done. I don't think. You say that it's game done, but then what happens is David Raya has to make a brilliant save from a flick from Richarlison. And in my last match review, I said that there are some times that David Raya makes a mistake, but then at the same time, there could be a moments of brilliance that he has where he saves a goal. And today, it's a moment of brilliance because he manages to get down to the ball and claw it out before it crosses the line. And you're thinking, 3-2, I can't remember how long's left, but 3-2 at that time, I think it might have been the 80, around 5 minutes left. 3-2 at that point, then the crowd gets up for it, and then again, you just think, do panic stations set in? Do people get worried? What happens? But we weather the storm. He made a great save, and then Hincapié wins the ball out the pitch off of Jed Spence. Plays in Odegaard, who plays in Gyökeres, and it's a battle between Gyökeres and Archie Gray, and he manages to win that battle where he's way too strong for Archie Gray, and he wraps it in. So you've got a brace for Eze, and you've got a brace for Gyökeres, and it seems that if Eze could play Spurs twice a week, if he could play them more than twice a season, then he clearly would, because that is 5 goals in 2 games for him, and where I think he hasn't had a shot on goal since that, or it might even be 1 shot on goal. Either way, the shots on goal have been few and far between since the last Spurs game. And it seems that he wants to say thank you to Arteta for rescuing him from going to Spurs, because he would be in a relegation fight, which you can see why Spurs are where they are, because in that game, there's a lot of space for Arsenal to play into, and they used that space very well and were very threatening. So where you got in the first half, we have 3 big chances. There are 3 big chances in the second half, and we take 2 of them. We take 2 in the first half, and you look at that game as a response to the last 2 games that we had that were poor. We had to turn up for this game because it is a North London derby. They've got a new manager. You want to avoid a new manager bounce, and there'll be question marks that will be asked if Arsenal didn't win that game. If we didn't win that game, you'd be questioning things and then be talking about Man City winning the day before and what this means for the title. But we bring the gap back to 5 points, and we are now. We're still in our hands. I mean, we still got to go to the Etihad. We still got to play Man City, but you don't want to create that much pressure. And I think that you could see that in that game we did our homework. I think he would have looked at how Tudor played and the type of formation that they're going to play, and they seem to be ready to be playing against a man-for-man press, and that where there was and use the space that was in behind to get goals. Don't get me wrong, some of those goals did come from mistakes. I think that Tottenham's goals come from mistake, and a couple of Arsenal's goals come from mistakes. But before those goals, we were good for our lead, and as I said, we should have gone into halftime with a lead, and in the second half, we have shown why we've shown that we should have been ahead in the first half, because we finished those chances that we did get. It's Arsenal 4, Tottenham 1. We roll on to our next game, which is Chelsea at home. And I want to say if you made it this far, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Tell me how you saw the game. Put it in the comments, what you think. Let me know who you think was your man of the match. Was this Gyökeres' best game in an Arsenal shirt? Was this one of Eze's best games in an Arsenal shirt? Let me know. So yeah, I'm Bevan. This is the Armchair Pundits, and this is the Arsenal post-match review show. Catch you man later.